Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a little narration for these videos. I've been wanting to, but at the same time, like, sitting down to, like, figure out what to say across the videos and all that, it adds, like, such a huge bulk of time, like, to actually edit the videos and figure out if everything's right, and I believe I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but it usually takes me like 3 to, like, I think the most retakes I've done for audio has been 7, because obviously, like, the words don't come out of my mouth perfectly the first time, or like just the audio is just pure garbage or whatever, you know. Yeah, it's a huge time sink, so I've just been trying to go the less stressful approach and just trying to do some speed paint type videos, you know, no commentary or anything. It's just a nice little relaxing viewer experience, but this time around, this is going to be a longer video. I'm sorry if that bothers some of you. I know a lot of people typically like shorter 5-minute videos, which I've been trying to do, but at the same time, 5 minutes really isn't a lot of time to get a point across for anything or talk about whatever. I just kind of want to do a little vlog type thing and discuss some of the things that have been going on, why some of the Fan Art Friday videos haven't been going up or whatever. It's mainly because I'm sort of taking the time to stockpile videos, and that's because basically with my current schedule right now, everything is just way too chaotic, and video editing takes up a fair chunk of time out of the day, which I could be using to, you know, do more art or managing different social media and all that, which is kind of important right now since I'm still just trying to grow my own little viewer base. But yeah, I'm taking a minute to stockpile videos so that if I have a day where I don't have time to record something, or I forgot to record something, or editing's taking a while, because sometimes these videos, for whatever reason, like without any reason whatsoever, one video will take, like, I don't know, something reasonable like 7 or 10 minutes to render out or whatever, and then like a completely separate video that like is exactly the same in every way will take over 2 hours. It's like, what? Why? Anyway, there's always like little problems and things, and that's definitely a little pro tip for you, for anybody that's like listening to this that wants to start up their own YouTube channel or like upload videos or whatever. Always make sure you have a stockpile, because things go wrong all the time, every single time. Like, it's never just a simple, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this and like it'll be done in like a few minutes. No, it never works out like that. It's always way more complicated, and annoyingly so. Also, another thing that's been taking up a ton of my time personally, that I've been dedicating quite a bit of time to, has been commission work. Like, I've done commissions for quite some time on a face-to-face level locally, but I've never really branched out towards doing online commissions, and that's just something I've been trying to figure out. And well, I've already figured it out. It's just I've been setting the pieces together, and that's been taking its own fair share of time, because it's not like something that you can just throw out there. It's like, oh, hey, look, I draw, pay me, or whatever. No, it takes quite a bit of work. That I found out for damn sure. It takes a little bit. Also, like, as you can see here with the drawing itself, which has just amazingly changed camera angles. Yeah, I was I've been trying to play around with a few different things with camera angles and such, just trying to get a better for a better viewer experience with these Inktober drawings. All this says bled out into Inktober, and as much as I really want to do an Inktober drawing every single day for the month of October, my schedule doesn't allow for it this year, unfortunately, so I'm just kind of doing things on and off. I'm really just trying to comfort zone it as well, because it's been so far a very stressful month for me personally. So I'm not really trying to do anything super elaborate or amazing, just, cute girls in mechs, cute girls in mech suits, and so on and so forth. Just really the stuff that comes natural to me, really. Which, personally, that's something I find is very important to always hold on to. Like, you should always have a comfort zone that you could always rely on, because comfort zones are important. I know there's a lot of professionals out there that say that you should always stay out of your comfort zone, you should always be expanding and all that, and they're not wrong, but at the same time, you should not completely disregard something that you have an affinity to, I'm going to talk more about this in my style video, but obviously that's going to be a little bit take a little while in the making, because the style video is in that little stockpile thing that I mentioned, so it's going to be some time. Point is, having a comfort zone that you could always back up to and rely on is actually very important. It's better to be a master of something than to be a master of nothing. If, your thing is just doing cute girls and mechs, there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing about Inktober, which is really unfortunate, this is my fault, for being an idiot, and being completely unaware of time. I honestly thought November came before October, and I thought I still had a month before Inktober started to get things done and out of the way. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I really wanted to start up my own little webcomic called Heroes Unsung, and do that throughout the entire month of October, which I'm fairly confident that I could do, but the problem is it's still in the planning stages, and I'm still just trying to work out so many things, and although the story is coming along fine, I'm still trying to rework characters. Some of them just look a little bit too bland, others they're a bit too complicated to draw on a continuous scale, because anybody with any remote comic experience knows you can't make a character way too detailed. You see the character that I'm drawing right here, this would somewhat constitute as being a little bit too detailed for continuous comic work. You would have to, if you were to roll with a character like this, you would have to simplify her constantly, panel to panel. You can't just go balls out with details all the time. Camera shift again, because I found out halfway through, it didn't really come out in the video, so I'm kind of glad about that, but the camera kept shaking the entire time, and that would have been horrendous to see on the recording. I'm actually pretty glad that didn't come out. But yeah, one of the things that unfortunately happened to me during this piece is with this brush pen in particular, in fact all of my pens, every single one of them started drying out as this piece went further and further along, which is really unfortunate, because I actually am not able to get most of them back. In fact, one of my brush pens that I mainly use a lot to ink, I just found out has been discontinued. So it's dying. It's almost out of ink, and I can't get another one anymore. It's very disheartening, but that's fine. You know, I'll figure out another tool or whatever, or I'll just straight up use a brush and ink, even though that can be tedious in of itself to use, but it's an option, an always reliable one. Another thing, I forgot to record the last bit of this towards the end. Unfortunately, this is the final piece. It got to a point where the way I was recording it was just way too uncomfortable for me, you know? And with that, well, yeah, it was just too uncomfortable. That's another reason why I'm sort of doing these Inktober drawings on and off, is because the current setup that I have to record these things and all that, and I know obviously I'm not going to record every single one of these, but I need to take a break every now and then because it's too uncomfortable to draw with the camera hanging over you and trying to not like knock into the camera or whatever. So I unfortunately didn't record the last bit because it just got too annoying trying to sit there and do detail work and such with it just hovering there. But really, you didn't miss out on too much. It was just blocking out those black areas and yeah, just doing some more cross-hatching here and there, just trying to make sure the character pops out in contrast to the mech in the background over there. Ooh boy, I need a drink. Okay. So moving on to the next one, this is another 2-in-1 video for you guys. This was a little sketch that I did in my pocket notebook, and obviously something the size of the palm of your hand isn't ideal for inking. So I actually ended up scanning this, opening it up in Clip Studio, and resizing it so that it would fit on a 7x10 page. I printed it out and just started cracking away at it, and it's a pretty good, for any of you guys that are watching this and you're like sort of not confident about your inking skills and all that, I do recommend, it's not a good habit to just constantly get into because it does slow you down, but definitely scanning your work in and printing off some test sheets to ink those. It's a good way to help build your confidence because there's no risk to ruining the original image, you know? And one of the biggest challenges really is just trying to gain that confidence to just get in there and do it, and it really does help fix that. And there are the freaking ums again, constantly. Sorry about that. I do know what I'm trying to say, it's just I'm trying to say a lot of things all at the same time. I'm also just trying to avoid having to re-record this audio like 17 different times. I've already had to re-record it once. But yeah, this piece, it's actually very sad because you'll see later on in the video, I ended up printing this onto the wrong side of a piece of mixed media paper. And this side, although it's great for using a multi-line, yeah, see right there, it's starting, my brush pen is starting to run out of ink, but anyway, the paper itself, for some reason, it's not very absorbent. Like, it's not great for inking. How do I put this? This side of the paper that I ended up using, it's better to use it for dry media like pastels or pencils or whatever. But as you'll see, when you start really layering on the inks, it doesn't want to absorb into the page. It just puddles on top and it creates bumps and ridges everywhere. It's really bad. I know I'm complaining a bunch here, but you're going to see in a little bit why that becomes problematic. I started to notice it here, especially laying down these solid black points in her little headdress, that the ink was acting very weird with the paper. And ultimately what ended up happening, what you're about to see here, I'm going to switch over to real time. Or actually, it's sped up 2 times, so it's 2 times faster. Right there, as soon as you put the ink onto the paper, it just pools up and it just becomes all muddy. And yeah, I just have no idea why the paper was reacting that way. It was just weird. I mean, that's ultimately just my assumption that that side of the paper, because it's a double-sided sheet of paper, right? That side just wasn't meant for inking. It just, plain and simple, it was not meant for wet media. And the original intent for this image was to mask out the character so it would be a completely black background, and then she would stand out against it with, you know, be white and black contrast. But moving on over here, should see it in about a second or two. I ended up switching to a piston pump brush that was completely filled with ink, because I figured, oh well, maybe increasing the ink load would help out. And it did for a second when I was going over the black ink that was already there. It did a good job of saturating that, but as soon as I went over the paper itself again, it started to pool up and puddle. And yeah, right at the last minute, freaking everything just fell apart. So this is what it ended up looking like. I figured, you know, I'll just scan it, no problem, fix it up in Photoshop or whatever. Or not really Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop at all. I use Clip Studio Paint, which I find tends to be a lot better with line work. But there you go. I completely fixed it up, redid the silhouette, brought back the little horn piece on her crown, and yeah, no problem. Everything worked out fine in the end. Great story. So that's pretty much the end of the video right there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to check out the last Inktober drawing that I did, it's there, as well as the Fan Art Friday video I did. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh no, it's still going. No, my phone. No. These are the problems of trying to record audio.